So there's this boy, right? A sweet, curious, too talkative for his own good kind of boy. His name, Toundi. And Toundi's biggest crime in life was asking questions about everything, including rubber. Yes, that kind of rubber. This is the story of a boy who wanted a bit of sugar, found himself in a colonial household, saw too much, asked the wrong questions, and paid dearly for it. Today, I'm telling you a story about curiosity, colonizers, condoms, and the cost of innocence. And in the end, I'll reveal the book behind it all. Trust me, you'll want to read this. So Toundi runs away from home. Why? Because of sugar. That's right. A quarrel breaks out between his dad and a neighbor over a lamp of sugar. And Toundi, greedy for foreign sweets, packs his bags and seeks refuge with a missionary named Father Gilbert. At first, everything's great. He even starts writing in his diary. Yes, this is a diary story. 2 exercise books of raw thoughts, colonial gossip, and existential realizations.
I've struggled my whole life wondering why I didn't fit in. But now I realize there was nothing to fit. I have no substance.
But life takes a turn. Father Gilbert dies. Cue French tears and whispers of the martyr who died on African soil. And Toundi ends up working as a houseboy for the local French commandant. And that's when the fun really begins. The commandant is married, but his wife is something else. She arrives with perfume, pearls, and plot twist, a secret lover, the local prison officer, a giant of a man called Moreau. Now Toundi is innocent, too innocent. One day she tells him to clean under her bed. And what does our boy find? A condom. Just a rubber. But Toundi picks it up confused and asks questions.
Sex is dope, I get it.
Never ask questions when working for colonizers, especially not about what's under Madame's bed. She throws him out in fury. Toundi is baffled. Why would a rubber make her angry? He asks around, and what does the cook say?
Am I supposed to encourage you, or can I tell you it's a bad idea right away?
Toundi, will you never learn what a houseboy's job is? One of these days you'll be the cause of real trouble. When will you grasp that for the whites, you are only alive to do their work and for no other reason? I am the cook. The white man does not see me except with his stomach.
Boom, reality check. But does Toundi stop asking questions? Of course not. That's what makes him lovable and doomed. His friend Kalicia warns him too.
They will never forgive you for that. How can they go on strutting about with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth in front of you when you know?
Still, Toundi watches, listens, writes, and in the process exposes the absurd hypocrisy of colonial life. The commandant arrests innocent people, beats them, and then, get this, asks the natives to pray for their souls when they die. Madame pets goats and whispers to flowers like she's in a Disney movie, but can't stand the touch of the African houseboy serving her breakfast.
Madame kept murmuring, "Ah, how sweet they are, how pretty they are." She let them lick her hands. She bent down in front of each flower and breathed its scent in deeply. I was on the other side of the flower bed facing her. She had forgotten I was there.
Toundi watches it all. The double standards, the fake piety, the obsession with race, even in church, where whites and blacks sit separately, use different entrances, but sneak off after dark together. They still slept with the natives and hide their deeds from one another.
I know why the commandant is not like other European men without madams, who send their boys into the location to hire Mamie for them. I wonder what the commandant's wife will be like.
Page 46. And then there's the war. Oyono throws in a dark little gem.
When the Germans made the first war on the French, his younger brother was killed fighting for the French. When the Germans made the second war on the French, his 2 sons were killed fighting for the Germans.
Confused loyalties, broken lives. Toundi's mother even warns him.
My mother always used to say what my greediness would bring me to in the end.
And it does. Toundi eventually gets framed for spreading the truth about Madame and Moreau. He escapes badly wounded to Spanish Guinea, and that's where his diary ends. And that, my friends, is the story found in this incredible novella Houseboy by Ferdinand Oyono, translated from French by John Reed, first published in 1956. Only 122 pages long, but it hits like a punch to the gut.
Who hurt you?
Almost everyone.
This book is short, sharp, and absolutely brilliant. It's funny in the saddest way. You laugh, not because it's light, but because Oyono uses wit like a knife. The Europeans show more kindness to plants than people. They despise the natives publicly, yet exploit them privately. They preach Christian virtue, then steal, lie, and kill. And poor Toundi, he just wants to understand it all. His innocence makes the story even more tragic. We only see the world through his eyes. We don't get Madame's thoughts or Moreau's guilt, if any. That's the beauty and the trap of the diary format. It's raw, one-sided, and heartbreakingly personal. This is anti-colonial literature at its finest. Funny, devastating, and deeply revealing. And it's so readable. You could knock it out in a day and feel like you just read a 500-page novel.
Well, this is great. What a huge relief.
Now, let's talk about the man behind this masterpiece. Ferdinand Leopold Oyono was born in 1929 in Cameroon and had a short but explosive literary career. Houseboy, or Une Vie de Boy, was his debut novel. He wrote just a few more before entering public service. He served as a diplomat and later became Minister of Foreign Affairs and then Minister of State for Culture. But it's Houseboy that immortalized him as one of the most important voices in African anti-colonial literature. If you're looking for a quick but profound read that offers insight into the colonial experience from an African perspective, Houseboy is absolutely worth your time. It's one of those books that will make you laugh, cry, and feel righteous anger all within its 122 pages. It's perfect to read after tackling something more difficult, or if you're in a reading slump and need something short but impactful to get you back on track. Have you read Houseboy? What did you think of Toundi's story? Let's talk. Until next time, happy reading. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.